This video is going to be a beginner's guide on how to play, survive, and thrive in Barotrauma. We are going to be covering some of the basics, including how to play the campaign, play the different roles, and some general tips and tricks that will ensure you get the most out of your gameplay experience. First off, we're going to give a brief overview on the campaign. We are going to assume that you're starting off with a solo campaign. The objective of the campaign is to navigate your way to the end of the map on the far right. To do this, you will need to hire crew, upgrade your submarine, and acquire special items and clothing to venture deeper into the underwater abyss. The campaign has two core mechanics that help to guide you in the right direction, the first of which is Jovian radiation. This is a radioactive wave that envelops the map from left to right. If you're caught in this radioactive bubble, your crew will develop radiation sickness. This is very expensive to cure, and the medication to cure it is in limited supply at all stations. This mechanic forces you to venture deeper and faster and adds a considerable difficulty rating to the game. However, if you like a challenge, then turn it on to keep that mounting pressure coming. This leads us nicely to the second mechanic, pressure. As you progress from left to right through the new biomes you encounter, you will reach a pressure limit. Each submarine has a maximum pressure limit. If your current submarine cannot handle the pressure, you will receive a warning that it has reached crushing point, and you, your submarine, and all your crew will implode, meaning the total end of that mission. You are able to restart a mission, but be warned, you can get yourself into a situation where the game is unrecoverable. So to counteract the effect of pressure, you will need to upgrade your submarine hulls, each upgrade allowing the vessel to venture deeper and further into the campaign. As a note of interest, any upgrade you apply carries across to any new or old submarine that you have bought. In addition to upgrading your hulls to go deeper, you will also need to upgrade your diving suits. To facilitate all these upgrades, you will need money, and the best way to get money in the game is to run missions. These are obtained from the different stations that you visit. I have a full video describing the different missions and what to expect. This should be in the top right corner now, and I'll also leave a link in the video description below if you'd like to check it out later. With that, I wanted to briefly talk about actually starting a campaign. For an easier gameplay experience, turn off Jovian radiation and increase the mission count, as this will allow you to make more money per mission. To make it harder, do the opposite of that. Next, you will choose a submarine to start off in. You will either choose the Dugong, which is good for running cargo missions, or the Humpback, which is a great attack vessel with good weapons out the gate. And with that, you can start your adventure off in Europa. Next, we're going to cover some of the basic mechanics that are related to survivability. Almost everything on your submarine can be damaged, or loses durability over time, causing it to break. First in this section, let's talk about hulls. During your journey, you can be attacked by monsters or pirates. These will damage your hulls. This begins to flood your submarine with water, causing you rapidly to descend to the ocean floor. This can be catastrophic if your submarine is over an area that descends straight down into crushing depth. Even if you're lucky and hit a shelf, all your crew members immediately require oxygen. If not enough is on hand, your crew members will begin to drown. The damage of your hulls starts off as a small leak, meaning that the regular diving mask will be sufficient to survive the incoming water. However, if that small leak turns into a breach, your crew are subject to the outside pressure of the submarine, which again can kill off your crewmates fairly quickly. In addition, if a hull is breached by monsters, they are now inside your ship and looking to hunt down and kill off your crewmates. Now, it's not all doom and gloom, as you can repair your hulls with a welder and a good mechanical engineering skill, but more on that later. Even with plain sailing, the machines on your ship begin to decay over time. Everything from electrical junction boxes to your oxygen generator decays. This decay will eventually break the item in question, causing systems to go offline and, in the worst case scenario, catch on fire. This will deplete oxygen, cause burning damage, and spread to other parts of the ship. To survive all of this, you will need to hire different crewmates with specific skills to help with repair, defense, and maintenance of your submarine. This brings us on to our next section, crew roles. There is already a basic tutorial guide available from the campaign menu. This will teach you some of the basic functions and the crew skills when you start the game. However, this guide aims to extend on that to give you more situational awareness and in-depth playstyles from the different roles. Starting off, let's talk about those different roles. Each character in the game plays a key role in keeping the crew alive, the submarine afloat, and everything else in good condition. There are currently 6 roles in the game that you can play: Captain, Electrical Engineer, Mechanical Engineer, Security Officer, and Medic. These roles are not fixed, as you're able to fill in for other roles as and when required. But everything you do in the game depends on skill points. The higher your skill points are in certain areas will affect the handling, repair, and crafting times of everything on the ship. The better handling for navigation and weapons you have means the faster you can navigate or turn weapon turrets. The higher your mechanical or electrical skills are, the faster you can repair items, as well as a reduction in the chance of an accident. The higher medical, the more efficiently you can heal and use more advanced medical items. These higher skills also affect the crafting times for different resources and items. There are more to this list, but essentially, the higher the skill, the more proficient you are in that area. When you start off with a character, you will have increased skill points in the specific role you have loaded in with. You will be able to skill up in any area when you use or craft the specific role items that you are interacting with. With skills out of the way, I wanted to cover some of the playstyles of the different roles. As a recommendation, all characters should have on them at all times the following items: at least 3 to 4 full oxygen cylinders, a weapon, a welding torch, a screwdriver, and a wrench. This is so you can survive the incoming water, defend yourself, and repair all the systems on the ship. This will allow you to quickly and easily mitigate any disaster situation. Now for role specifics. As the medic, you want to be carrying with you at least some bandages, blood packs, and some form of opiate-based medicine. This is so you can treat most of the common injuries. However, the medic role in Barotrauma is quite complicated, and honestly, it deserves its own video, so I will leave out specifics for now. As an electrical or mechanical engineer, you want to be carrying extra fuel tanks for the welding tool and some fuel rods for the reactor. Make sure to periodically check the reactor to see when the current rod is about to run out, as the downtime from the electricity shortage on the ship can make a huge difference. As a security officer, you obviously want to be carrying weapons. Revolvers, shotguns, and semi-automatics are best. But if you are playing multiplayer, perhaps stun battens might be a better choice, as friendly fire is a thing and you can accidentally hit other crewmates. As a close on this section, there is a special note about role-specific access. There are lockers and areas that cannot be accessed by everyone, unless of course you have the right clearance to do so. This includes the weapons locker, medical toxin cabinet, and certain areas of the ship. The captain can access all of these areas unless there is a hidden multiplayer objective. The security officer gets access to the weapons locker and the medic to the toxin cabinet. This can be overridden by taking the name tag of a fallen crewmate. Finally, for this video, I'm going to cover some general tips and tricks to help you along your way in Barotrauma. First off, clothing. This deserves its own video, as there is a lot of hidden statistics and buffs that characters can get through clothing and stimulants you find throughout Europa. These will increase your skills, reduce damage, and increase movement speed depending on the buffs you receive. Be sure to look out for different clothing at stations, from salvage missions, and from pirate missions, as clothing found in these areas have significant statistics that can give you an edge in gameplay. Next on the tips list is to upgrade your regular diving suits. Regular diving suits when walking are 35% slower than their combat diving variants, and are 40% slower when using the underwater scooter. This speed increase makes such a difference when completing missions outside the submarine, as it not only speeds up your overall mission time, but it means you have a greater chance of dodging enemies. It also means your crew are faster at getting those essential repairs in submerged parts of the submarine. In addition to all of this, they offer a 10% increase in protection for bite, blunt trauma, lacerations, and gunshot wound damage, as well as a 5% increase of protection from the husk infection. The only real downside here is the reduced damage protection against radiation sickness, which is now down to 50%. To get a combat diving suit, you can buy them at some stations, but the easiest way is to upgrade a regular suit using a fabricator. They require 1 ballistic fiber, 1 titanium aluminium alloy, and 1 rubber, all of which can be bought at all stations. If you don't have a fabricator on board, not to worry. All stations do have one inside. The final note on this section is that unfortunately the diving suits do not carry across from one submarine to another, unless of course you're wearing it. So whilst you can put one on and switch submarines, don't expect any of your other NPC crewmates to do the same. Next on the tips list, we have flares. The flare is unfortunately an item that doesn't get enough credit for its utility. When running missions outside the submarine, specifically mining and salvaging, your character can be attacked by monsters. This gets dangerous when you're dealing with more than 3. The flare acts as a distraction and immediately attracts monsters to its location. From there, you can grenade, explode, shoot, or harpoon anything within your range. Next, we have deconstruction. Some of the more advanced ammunition in the game requires rare metals that can only be found or bought in specific locations. However, there is another easier way to get hold of resources that you currently do not have access to. This is done by deconstructing items. For example, Fulgurium batteries are one of the easiest ways to get Fulgurium. These batteries are available at all stations, whereas Fulgurium itself is not. Be sure to look out for those advanced items on your travels, so that you can quickly get access to those rare resources. I have already mentioned about the tougher hulls upgrade. However, there is another upgrade that personally I would rate of higher importance. Junction boxes. Junction boxes provide power to everything on the ship. If your junction box room goes down, you are unable to navigate, defend yourself, or produce oxygen. As such, with your junction box room out of commission, you are literally a sitting duck. So I would highly recommend prioritizing all of the upgrades for the junction box room first, as this will ensure smooth sailing on your journeys through Europa. Hopefully, this beginner's guide will give you the basic means and knowledge to navigate successfully through the world of Barotrauma. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button so it can reach more people. If you want to see more from me, make sure to subscribe, and until next time, peace.
Na na na.